What's going on, guys? And we are back. Today we are in Cowpens, South Carolina at the Cowpens National Battlefield. Yeah, so we're super excited to be here. Really love history. I do, especially Revolutionary War history. Famous battle. We famously took down Colonel Tarleton, and just a big victory that really shifted the momentum of the Revolutionary War, especially for the Americans. So yeah, y'all stay tuned. We got some stuff to show y'all. All right, so we found some interesting stuff. We got Paxton. She is gonna be your normal height of Continental Army,
which is crazy. They have this like little statue thing, and like I'm pretty much the same height as it, which is crazy to think that they're kind of short.
Yeah, they're very short. So we're here. So we would have basically been almost on the front line of the Battle of Cowpens. Yeah, they got a little gun. You can hold, pretend. Oh yeah. But yeah, we thought that was pretty interesting. Paxton is right at the normal height of a Continental Army soldier. So we're seeing a lot of facts and stuff out here. There's a lot of things. We go over here. There's a lot of interesting things going on here. We looked at Morgan about him getting his distress letter, his call to basically lead this battle, and the only reason he got that letter because he was the most well-knowledged of the area, and they felt like he would lead the troops in a good direction, which turns out to be it. So we have the Washington Light Infantry Monument.
That's cool.
So this was erected in 1856. Okay. So I guess they remodeled it or moved it here to this section. So this was dedicated to William Washington, who was another commander.
So created by the Washington Light Infantry.
So this one was, the plaque was here since 1936.
How are you?
Or 1938, not 1936. That's pretty interesting. Just
yeah, that's neat.
Little things here and there. Sorry about the light. We're in the sun, obviously, so there's going to be a lot of differential within the light. But other than that, this is a cool place. If you're talking about, if you're history buff, then yeah, you would very much enjoy this scenery being here. We talked about it. It's kind of creepy out here.
Yeah, it is a little creepy.
It reminds me of Ghost Adventures had an old episode where they went to a battlefield. I think it was Gettysburg or somewhere, where they were shooting cannons in the middle of the night to see if there's spirits come out.
Mm-hmm.
And that was interesting. But
that's creepy.
This would be the kind of place to do it at. I feel like we heard a group talking earlier. Paxton goes, "Stop!" So you hear some talking.
I don't know what it was.
But other than that,
So we made it to the second line now, where they would be standing.
Which is kind of confusing. I don't know if they're trying to say that the second line stopped and held and then shot a volley over the front line, or if they're saying this was the line that held to. So when the front line retreated, this was the line that was going to meet them.
Yeah.
Because this guy was 17 years old.
17 years old. That's crazy.
17 years old fighting.
So young.
Fighting
I could
military.
not imagine being 17 and fighting a war.
There's a little silhouette.
A little battle.
Of people fighting right here. Don't know if y'all can see that, but it's pretty cool. If you back up a certain distance, you'll see them. They're over here, standing in this field over here. But yeah, that's interesting. Cowpens was actually the battle that really introduced the double envelope. So the principle of it was you send your weaker guys, your militiamen. So militiamen, as told Paxton, a lot of militia were volunteers. They were farmers with pitchforks and not really trained, you know. So you'd send them to the front line, and you know they'd get destroyed, and then as they're retreating, a lot of the British mentality was, hey, go finish them off. So they would come across the hill, and waiting behind that front line was everybody else, the rest of the cavalry waiting on them. And really, that's the turning point here, was the double envelope.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. You got a little guy over here. So yeah, this is talking about the sharpshooters. So this, I guess, this is where the sharpshooters would stay. And this is, they were guys doing kind of doing the dirty work.
I like these little like statue things.
Yeah, those are really neat.
Sharpshooters.
So sharpshooters at the skirmish line waited until Tarleton's army got within shooting distance. Their orders were to slow Tarleton's advance with well-aimed rifle fire, and then fall back to the militia second line. As the British came within range, the militia delivered a deadly fire, dropping 2/3 of the officers, then funneled back through the Continental line.
Wow.
And
so we were like over here, now we're over here, and now we're right here.
So that was probably a problem, because you always fought like gentlemen. You know, that was the big thing. Like a volley, we talked about a volley. Volley's just, that was the point of lining up. You know, you'd have guys here, you'd volley each other, you'd shoot at each other. That was a gentleman's fight. That's how you fought as a gentleman. Another thing that was, you weren't supposed to shoot at officers. You know, that was something that General Cornwallis took to heart. That was something that he, strived through India, and just the French and Indian War. Just that was something that he understood and was totally against. He was very against that. You don't shoot at officers. You know, you shoot at an officer, we'd shoot 2 of yours back. Which, if you know much about Revolutionary War, that's what happened to Benedict Arnold. Benedict Arnold, the traitor of the war, they said traitor of the times, because Horatio Gates took his credit in Saratoga, and just, it was a whole mess, and found out a whole bunch of lies. People called him liar, and back in the day, I mean, you called somebody a liar, that was the worst of it. That was, you're defacing the man, you call him a liar. So Benedict Arnold saved a couple officers during several battles. Said, do not fire, stopped several of his men from shooting at officers. I believe it was one of the officers he ended up saving that turned around and ordered his men to fire at Benedict Arnold. Benedict Arnold got shot. Yeah, Benedict Arnold got shot in the leg, and he survived. And yeah, well, that's a whole nother different war during this time period. But yeah, you were not allowed to shoot officers. That was something that was big, and something I guess we took advantage of. But we were fighting Tarleton. Colonel Tarleton, he did not play fair, very fair. He burned churches down. I mean, he was horrible. In the movie The Patriot, he was I don't remember his name, but...
Oh, is it the one actor that killed, like, the guy's son?
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, he killed the guy's son in the beginning, and all that, but that was a real dude, based off a true dude, Colonel Tarleton. Tarleton really was like that. We keep hearing, like, gunshots.
Yeah, it's kind of creepy.
We didn't see any, like...
Reenactment stuff.
Yeah, we didn't see any reenactors or anything like that.
But we keep hearing like boom boom.
Yeah, it's just off in the distance. It could just be residuals coming from the battlefield here or whatever. But sword crash at Green River Road, nearby retreating British officers of the 17th Light Dragoon. Crash pursuing American horsemen led by Lieutenant Colonel William Washington. He quickly outpaced his troops, broke his weapon at the hilt when he got into a sword fight with a British officer. According to legend, Washington's young servant rode up just in time, saving his life by shooting the attacking British officer. Oh, wow. It is this account that probably inspired the artist William Rainey in 1845 to paint this vigorous battle scene. Washington and Tarleton raised their swords in the center while Washington's servant boy levels his pistol at a dragoon officer.
Oh wow! So this person
Yeah,
shot
that's
at this officer,
no, that's
or no?
I think this is Tarleton.
Maybe shot at this
Oh,
one.
he's shooting at him.
His gun does not look like he's facing that way.
Because this is William. I believe this is William.
So he's shooting at this guy?
Maybe.
I'm confused.
I don't know if this is William or this is William or
Well,
this William.
they have to be wearing the same colors.
I mean, he's saying in the center.
So maybe this guy?
No, so maybe this is Tarleton. This is Tarleton.
So he's shooting at this guy?
No,
I'm confused.
maybe.
We need someone to point who out.
Yeah, maybe this.
I know who this guy is.
Maybe this is Tarleton, and then he was shooting at him.
Him. But but they're wearing the same. They're all wearing like this. Looks like I don't know who's on whose side.
I assume.
But
He's the slave right here.
Yeah.
So he's wearing the same colors as these guys. So it's got to be the same colors.
Yeah.
So I assume this is Tarleton. That's William.
Okay.
William Washington.
So he's shooting probably at this guy.
No, he's probably shooting this guy.
Because he's coming over
he's
to hit him.
coming to hit him.
Oh, okay,
so
that
he's
makes
shooting
sense.
At this guy.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Look at this horse's eyeballs, though. Like, all of them are like poking out of their faces. That's creepy.
It was painted in 1845.
True.
So
it's kind of creepy though.
Battlefield
So now we go to this trail.
Yeah, that's.
So this probably looks back to the monument.
That's Scruggs House Trailhead parking.
Are we going that way?
It's up to you if you want to go to Scruggs House.
I don't know what house.
Let's go to Battlefield Trail.
Okay.
The British Army. British Commander Lieutenant Colonel Bannister Tarleton ordered a detachment of cavalry forward to scatter the American skirmishers. The green uniformed British Legion, Americans loyal to the king, awaited the order to advance. So these were American.
Okay. And these were the British?
These were the British. So
See,
Legion Cavalry, Private 16th Light Infantry, Royal Artillery, Private 17, I don't know how to say that, and Highlanders, Private 71st Highlanders. These were the Scots.
So we're closer to where the British were.
Yeah, we'd be dead.
Yeah, there's their cannons.
We'd be dead.
So who is this person's house?
I don't know. Robert Scruggs, somebody. We can go down there and visit instead of going to the actual battlefield. If you want to go visit the house. So
Can we like go inside?
I assume you can. But yeah. I think it's crazy that we're standing where British and American troops got into one of the deadliest battles during the Revolutionary War. Yeah, this was one of the key turning points, like I've already mentioned. Especially coming off Camden, the Battle of Camden, which kind of made South Carolina militia look and Army's men look very, very weak. That's where Horatio Gates comes into play. I guess Horatio Gates took all the credit for Saratoga and was promised to lead the next great battle, and he ended up making the world's not the world's, but the biggest blunder in American Revolutionary history. He got the ideal, or not the ideal, but he had the knowledge of British artillery and British army, the setup wise, but he forgot to flip his troops. So he didn't have stronghold on stronghold, he had stronghold on weak hold. So the best British soldiers on the right side were fighting the worst American soldiers on the left side. So he ended up forgetting to flip his troops around, and that battle lasted less than, it was like 25 minutes or an hour.
Okay.
Hour into the battle, Horatio Gates was in front of his men riding on a horse, getting out of there. So, which Tarleton was part of that battle. So Tarleton felt like that was the reason why Americans were so soft. He felt like we're nothing but farmers and pitchforks, and that they had a big hold on us. Which I think William Morgan didn't like that at all. Or Henry Morgan, sorry, William Washington. Henry Morgan didn't like that at all, and really drove him to be in this battle, to construct some type of military plan.
Yeah.
A lot of the British didn't want to be told to do, their generals were the rotating door. They had 2 of the generals promised that the battle would be over within 3 months. Now you're 5 years into the battle.
Dang.
Like, what happened to this
3 months?
3-month little stint here?
Yeah.
Of course, that's what brought Cornwallis here. And Cornwallis was very smart man. Very, very smart. He dug out a lot of different types of battle tactics and a lot of different ways to approach the Americans, which inevitably, I mean, really helped the British. The British were gaining a lot under General Cornwallis. But the Battle of Camden was his biggest win too. Was General Cornwallis. This is the first major battle here in Americas, which obviously was really big. I mean, you're running the Americans out within an hour with their biggest, you know, the up and coming biggest general we have is on on horseback, you know, 25 miles in front of his soldiers. So just not a good look. Horatio Gates was, I believe he was reprimanded. And all right, so we are at the
Scruggs house.
The Scruggs house.
Scruggs house.
Scruggs house.
It'd be cool to live in one of these houses, though.
This is the Scruggs house, I guess. I'm assuming. Can't go in there; it's locked.
Yeah.
Obviously.
We can maybe look inside it though.
Some bars on the house. It's quite dark in here.
Yeah, it is dark. Is there like a ladder to go upstairs or something?
Yeah, right there.
Okay.
Doorway over there. So that's the Scruggs house.
A little pamphlet.
Pamphlet. Which, I mean, basically the same as before.
Yeah, so is that what it used to look like
So,
before restoration?
No, I think, yeah, maybe the first visitors of the battlefield. So I guess these,
Looks like a small one.
when they took over this house, they were the first.
First house in April of
1928.
1928.
Huh. So I guess this isn't the original house. Maybe this is just a restored version. So
It'd be cool if it was.
let's see. It's got 2 floors. It's got an upper and then this lower. So I'm assuming this was the living space, and then above was like a loft to sleep at. And then there's the fireplace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a window too.
There's a what?
A little window.
There's a little window. Okay. Gonna go over here and see what's around back. Yeah, there's a little window right here, but it's got some plywood right there.
Is this like a garden?
Rosemary. Yeah, I assume so. It's a garden. So we got some rosemary.
Looks kind of good though.
Yeah. Maybe that's just like this is the plants and stuff they grew out here. I think it's a well over there.
Okay.
But yeah, this is pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think
That's a lot of land though.
You know, the pamphlet said that these were the first finders of the battlefield. So I don't know how they put 2 and 2 together.
Yeah.
That this was where everything happened at. Yeah, they got a little window up top too. Little window. Like I said, I think it's just a loft. That's where they slept at, or he said, I don't know. We don't know if this is the original house.
Yeah, or not.
Maybe this is just a restored house.
But either way, it's still pretty cool.
Yeah, either way, it's still pretty cool.
Now we gotta walk back.
It's a lot of walking.
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't know this was this much walking at a battlefield. I mean, it's a battlefield.
Yeah.
But
And no complaints.
I mean, I give it to the people during the time that were, you know, these young soldiers walking 600 miles. I mean, a lot of these soldiers walk from Maryland.
Wow.
I mean, that's a long walk.
That is a
That's a
long walk.
9-hour drive.
Walking, I don't even know how long.
That's
Probably
like
a couple days.
That's like a 7-day walk.
Yeah.
It's like a weekday walk
That's
to get down
crazy.
here. I mean, you got to think during the time though. I mean, they were carrying cannons and they're probably making it look easy.
Yeah.
But I know during when Cornwallis got down here, I don't know if it was, I believe it was Henry Morgan. I believe it was Morgan that sent Cornwallis on a goose chase.
Really?
Yeah. Cornwallis didn't know there was two different artillery groups moving at the same time, and they were basically chasing a phantom army, Cornwallis. So that's funny about Henry Morgan. But yeah, the Scruggs House is pretty cool. I didn't know there was gonna be anything like that.
Yeah.
It is getting more creepy out here, in my opinion. I think it's just the realization that there were people here fighting where we're walking at. And
that's pretty crazy to think about.
Especially 17-year-olds. 17 and 16-year-olds. And
so young.
So young and just... I mean,
Some lost their lives, I'm sure.
But they were happy to do it.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's the crazy part.
A lot of these guys were just, hey, I want to go fight. Which, I mean, I would have too. But, I mean, you just got to think about time period. I mean, you had like a 90% chance you were going to come home.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'd take that chance. Yeah, that's the interesting part too. I mean, you look up the stats and all that. I mean, really not a lot of people died. But a lot of people for the time frame died. And with weaponry and things like that, you had a lot of ways they died. A lot of people didn't die just from getting shot and injuries from battle. A lot of people died from sicknesses and
true.
I know a lot of the British got sick when they came over here because they weren't used to a lot of the pollen.
That would get you, honestly.
A lot of the pollen, a lot of the weather changing.
Yeah.
Like
the weather, all the rainy seasons and stuff.
They're going from New York, New Jersey, all these northern states that were like, it gets cold,
Yeah.
And then you're going down here where half your you just came from somewhere that was negative, not negative, but that was 26 degrees, 27 degrees. Now you're coming down here and it's 50, 60, 70 degrees in the same week. I mean, that would get you.
Yeah.
That really would get you. But
no air conditioning.
Yeah, no AC, no nothing. Yeah. So we're blessed.
Oh, yeah.
Especially in the time period we live in now, we're very blessed in what we have and what we can take advantage of.
Yeah.
Because at the time they didn't get none of that. I mean, they were basically just doing what they were told to do. So, all right. So we are making our way to the front line of the British side. So we got
here.
Yeah, we're right here. So we're right on the cannon. So the cannon would have been probably about 6-7 feet in front of us.
Yeah. Straight
in front of us, walking straight. I'm assuming Tarleton's either here or here. I mean, he's commanding this battle. So, which says there, I mean, Tarleton initiated the battle before all his troops were ready initially. So, Paxton did have an interesting question. She said, why did they wear red?
Why did they wear red?
Why did
I feel
they
like
wear
that would
red?
be like a standout. Oh, I see them. I'm going to shoot them because they're wearing red. It's bright.
Yeah.
But then Carl made a good point about it could be to like hide like their blood if they got shot or something.
I don't know. I'm just making up something. You just gotta make something up and hopefully it's right.
But
I don't know.
To me, if I was going into a battle, I wouldn't want to be wearing bright red or something.
Maybe
I'd want to wear camo.
maybe it's because red was the most expensive color. I mean, other than like purple back in the day, and it was a sign of
wealth.
Hey, wealth.
And power.
Hey, we have power. We can wear the most expensive color there is.
I don't know. We just thinking.
Yeah, I don't know. We really have no idea.
Got bamboo in here.
There's some bamboo growing. This is a nice little historical walking center. I mean, if you
their concrete has like this. I don't know what
padding,
it is on top.
Yeah.
But it feels good on my feet.
If Universal had this,
yeah,
my feet would be in heaven all day.
Real, all day. It's nice.
We got another sign coming up here.
Let's see what it's about.
Skirmishers Retreat, British Advance. So this was the initial start of
the front line.
No,
or the one.
The double envelope.
Oh, okay.
I was talking about. So the Skirmishers Retreat, the British Advance.
Gotcha. So they were like shooting and they would pull back?
Yeah, so after firing is ordered, the American skirmishers melted back to the second line.
Gotcha.
Seeing this, the British troops moved forward at quick step, raising a great shout as they advanced.
Mm.
So that was the fault with this battle, like I've mentioned. They set the militia and the skirmishers up front, to take the first initial brunt force of the British. Not really kill anybody, just to send a volley over, shoot 2 or 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're thinking it's taking 1.5 to 2 minutes to reload your weapon.
Mm.
So that's
a long time.
Long time in between what could happen.
Yeah.
So I believe William Morgan said to fire twice and then retreat. Or as like the sharpshooters, hey, shoot a couple officers, come back to the second line.
Mm-hmm.
So that was their whole initial goal, was to shoot, 2 or 3 times, then advance.
Mm-hmm.
Because the British were gonna come either way.
Kept coming.
They were gonna keep going either way. It didn't matter.
Yeah.
The British, they're so used to that, like Camden. Like, they were so used to the Americans giving up, and that was something that, especially George Washington, didn't want to happen anymore. No more retreats. No more.
I want to go over to this.
You want to go to this little river?
Is that what this is?
A little trail.
Oh, it is like a little trail.
I don't know if I want to go back all the
No,
way.
no,
in
no.
there.
I don't want to go all the way back in there. I just want to come see what this is.
Yeah, there's a little
Like a
gourd,
little ditch.
little right here. I don't know if this was at one point a
Trench or something?
trench or something that was dug, or yeah, I have no idea.
I don't know. I just want to go over and look at it.
Yeah, I asked Paxton, could you imagine? I mean, you're in, especially her height. I mean,
Yeah, if they're about my size.
you're about Paxton's
going
height,
through all this stuff back here.
and then half the time they're going through all these trees, going through all this just to get to the front line. I mean, you got to think, you're 17, 16 years old. You can't really see anything.
Yeah, that's
And
crazy.
now you got guys over this way, shooting you off. You got no idea where they're coming from. And yeah, it's just scary. It's a scary thought to picture. You're going through all this, and
Yeah.
I don't know how they did it. I mean, they're brave people for doing that. I mean,
Yeah.
both sides. I mean,
Yeah.
you got to think, you're coming to a whole other country. You've never,
to fight.
yeah, a battle against so-called brethren.
Yeah.
But you have no idea where you're going to. You have no idea the land. I mean, a lot of these people, the first time ever leaving the country. So, but like I said, this is scary to me. I would have done it, but
I don't think I would have done it.
I don't think you could have at
Yeah,
the time.
well, being a girl, probably not.
I don't think you could have at the time, but
Which is fine. I'm okay with that.
yeah,
I'll be a homemaker. That's fine.
you'd be a homemaker.
Yeah. I'll do the sewing and the cooking.
Yeah, we stopped at the gift shop. We're gonna show y'all here in a little bit. Stopped at the gift shop. The guy said, "That's my homemaker. That's my wife." I guess they called it the homemaker on
Sewing kit.
a little sewing kit because the women were the sewers and the men had to have it, I guess, when they went off to war.
Yeah. Makes sense though. I mean, you gotta take care of yourself.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta take care of yourself. Looking at this we're looking at this little description. Here's a race for the grasshopper. I guess they were racing after the battle to see if they can capture one of the 3-pounder cannons. I guess this would be like the description of it over here. If you can see that over there. Yeah, it's one of them pole vaulted to get onto the cannon to capture that cannon. So it's cool. I mean, I guess it's a little fun they had to end the battle, really. But this is, I lied in the last part. We actually had this was the last thing that we
know of.
we know of. We haven't really seen. Which they have one of the original grasshoppers that they caught.
Yeah.
Inside the visitor center. They have a movie. We probably won't watch that.
Yeah. Although it'd be pretty cool to see the movie.
If you want to, we can. I'm not sure if we can video it or not.
Probably not.
Um,
But it'd probably give me like a lot of information that I didn't know. Maybe you probably know a lot of this stuff.
yeah, I love history. I love, like I've already stated,
I
revolutionary.
like hearing of history. I'm just not good at retaining history, like the knowledge of it.
Right.
It goes in one ear and then out the other.
Well, the Revolutionary War was one of those. They said it had to happen. I mean,
Yeah.
eventually it was going to happen, and it ended up happening. So I love American history. I love everything America. Not everything we did was great, but I feel like when it comes to war, we were always a step ahead of everybody.
Yeah.
Especially just with tactics you had to learn by yourself. You know, you had British armies and you had German. I mean, a lot of German armies, the Baltic armies. I mean, you had a lot of these armies that had centuries of tactics and centuries of different things going on. That you take a little old nation that been here less than 100 years and you try to challenge it, and we win. So Colonel Howard's misunderstood order. After firing twice, the militia retreated behind the Continentals, who were awaiting the British advance in this area. British reinforcements, Fraser's 71st Highlanders, threatened the Continental's right flank. Lieutenant Colonel Howard ordered his right flank to turn to face them. He centered and left flank misunderstood and began an orderly retreat. Sensing victory, the British broke ranks and surged forward. Morgan ordered the Continentals to face about and fire at close range. Raw recruits of the British 7th Regiment panicked and fell back. The Highlanders, still coming on like a mob, were repulsed. The stage was set for entrapment, annihilation, and American victory. So Howard, I guess he was the British colonel. No, yeah. So Howard was the British colonel. So he fell into the trap, basically. That's the trap of double envelope, like I was saying. You know, they were ordered to fire twice and militia retreated.
Yeah.
So
they thought they were winning.
Yeah, the British thought they were winning. Howard went ahead and jumped the gun. Oh, let's go. Let's attack. And Henry Morgan was right there. Morgan, the savior of Cowpens, was there to, you know, take advantage of that. Oh, here's the picture of it. I don't know if y'all saw that or not.
It's neat. Like, you can see, like, their faces and stuff.
I think it's one of my favorite parts, is actually getting illustrations.
Yeah.
For a lot of people that don't understand what's going on or know, you know, what's really going on in this battlefield, it's really cool to see these pictures. And a lot of these pictures were taken by, or paintings were painted by people in, you know, 1800s and things from hearing folklore. So a lot of this is folklore, which a lot of it ended up becoming true. I mean, historical documents stating, you know, facts, and it's true, coming from diaries and just different things adding up to be able to say, hey, this is really what happened. So this side is creepy too.
Yeah.
Sorry, I know we've said it's creepy like 6-7 times already, but it really, like, I
mean, it's not like a creepy where you want to, like, get out fast, but it's just kind of eerie.
Kind of eerie.
Yeah.
Just knowing, you know, you're standing in a place where a lot of people died.
Yeah.
On the field, the Continental blunted. The British advanced, then charged with bayonets flashing. Cavalry hit to the left and right of the 71st. Militia reformed and surged against right and left. British troops found themselves overwhelmed and surrounded. Morgan had executed a double envelope. In less than an hour, the crucial Battle of Cowpens had been decided. Classic use of the military tactic of double envelope took place at the Battle of Cannae in southern Italy in 216 BC. The soldiers under the command of Hannibal surrendered and crushed a much larger, superior Roman army.
Wow.
So, like I said, we weren't the first to think about a double envelope, but we were the first, I think, in modern times
to use it?
To actually use it and then make it a tactic in battle.
Yeah.
Which the double envelope was...
At least it worked for us, you know.
Listen, Morgan was a real genius at the time to do something like that, because like I said, I mean, you're so used to just lining up and falling at each other that you're killing your troops, man. I mean, you gotta do something to go out of the way to scare your opponent, and that really shook the British. That really caught them off guard, and, you know, helped us win. Realistically, helped us win this battle and change the outcome of history. I mean. Alright, so we made it into the visitor center here, the Battle of Cowpens. There's quite a few interesting things. I realized I was calling Daniel Morgan Henry Morgan the whole time. It's cool. I was calling Daniel Morgan Henry Morgan the whole time. I don't know why. So I'll put a little disclosure in there. But yeah, Daniel Morgan, these were all the guns and things. I guess a lot of these were found here at the Battle of Cowpens. So you got some swords and American Horseman's saber. So that's pretty cool. They got a bunch of muskets, several. So this is actually the cannon we were talking about. One of the grasshoppers that they were able to seize. I mean, it might be a reproduction. I don't know, but this is the representation of a 3-pounder. And they have one of the cannonballs here, one of the original cannonballs here that was found during one of the battles. So
that's a neat sword.
yeah, so that's just reproduction. So yeah, so we were talking about Paxton. So that guy right there is just about her height, but he's got about 2 feet off the ground.
Yeah.
So I guess it's your average Continental Army man, I guess.
That's a bigger picture of that one.
This is the bigger picture of the actual Battle of Cowpens. So these are the different timelines. Things were happening. So this was what's confusing me in the paintings, because Tarleton here, I mean his goons here were wearing, I guess that's green, right? They were wearing green, but in the paintings they were all wearing red. So
and there's the grasshopper.
Yeah, so they're thinking this is one of the 3-pound grasshopper shells that were recovered here at the battle. And Edinburgh Advertiser. So this informed residents of Scotland and England about the Battle of Cowpens that occurred months earlier. This report questioned that Morgan's troops defeated the British Army. Good with, but everything else, the timeline and what happened was pretty accurate. This is the British side.
I like their little pistol.
So, yeah, Paxton asked me what the difference between the Brown Bess, which is this musket, the British musket, and the American muskets. I don't remember the name of them, but a lot of the American muskets were dremelled out. They had grooves in them, and even some of the bullets had grooves in it to align with the grooves that was in those muskets. So one, it would come out faster, and two, would come out more accurate. So the American rifles, going up to the sharpshooters and riflemen, were a lot more accurate than the Brown Bess, which the Brown Bess had been through 3 different wars at the time. So, but very interesting. So you have. So this is painting of, that's Tarleton, Colonel Tarleton. So these are, I guess these are actual heights. So I'm assuming these are height replica. They gotta be. As you can see, Paxton, compared to everybody else, she is quite short compared to everybody else. So these are the different men. So this is militiamen, and these are the Continentals. So, yeah, Paxton would have been right with them. She would have been.
Eye.
Yeah, she would have been. I'm a little bit taller. She would have been forehead to forehead. So, if Paxton put her hair up and she put on one of those, she would look like a real British soldier. I'm just kidding. I'm just teasing you. Alright, so that wraps up everything on our trip to the Battle of Cowpens. We got 2 little things, things that were interesting. So I got a replica of the 3-pounder, no, 6-pounder field gun. So I thought that was pretty cool. It's fully metal. So
yeah, and I got this like little ornament that's made out of glass. I don't know if you can see it or not.
Stained glass ornament.
But it was pretty neat. Has like a little soldier on it.
Yeah, if y'all are into history and into battles, and especially like the Revolutionary War, this was definitely worth it.
Yeah, it was. It's a nice little walk.
Yeah, it's a nice walk. They got a lot of things to look
at.
Very pretty. Very, very pretty out here. Like I said before, it's a little eerie. It kind of irks me that I know someone, a lot of people died here. Yeah. But yeah, it's a very, very cool spot to come to. If you're looking to get somewhere out of town for a couple hours, if you're in the area, definitely come check this place out.
Yeah, it was nice. I liked it. So,
if there's anything y'all want us to do, or anything new, or anything to add, let us know in the comments. And just thank you for supporting us. So, we'll see you on the next one.